Alright, we're going. We're live. Are you afraid to move?
Trying to find some. Well, last time I did this, you told me I wasn't centered in there anymore.
Yeah, you want me to get you a stool or something? You can be like a stand-up comic with your drink on a stool. I'll get you a stool.
I was trying to move this engine stand over. It's got a flat spot in the middle. There you go, perfect. So it's been, what, 3 years since we did our last,
Yeah.
between this, that, and the other, we just didn't make it.
Yeah, you weren't feeling well.
I had a head cold that one day, yeah.
I came in at like 1 because I didn't feel
Good
well.
either, yeah.
And then by the time I got in here, you were gone. And I said, well, I'm leaving too because I only came in to do the thing.
And then last week you went to a bachelor party.
Yeah, I rode my motorcycle down to Southeast Georgia. Went to a bachelor party, which was great.
We don't want to tell them what you did while you were down there.
So BMW came out with a new bike.
The 900?
The 900.
Yeah.
Which I saw and I said, wow, that looks like every other bike.
Looks like the 800 and the...
It just looks like the Triumph 900, looks like everything. But then I found out that motor is made in China.
Well, I had an F450X, which is just basically a street legal off-road bike. And that motor's made in China also. And supposedly they're supervised by BMW. I mean, they're not, listen, that stuff's been going on for years. Other motors have been made in China for years.
I think it's
nothing new.
You don't even like getting bearings from China.
Well, and so when I was at the
Yeah.
AutoZone the other day, after I told them I didn't want Chinese bearings and they gave me Chinese bearings, I went back and said, I don't want these. And I said, you know, the Chinese make some pretty good stuff, but bearings isn't one of them. And so the guy said, oh, I told you I wouldn't get you Chinese. And he opened them up and it said, made in China. And I said, well, just give me my money back.
Yeah.
So.
I think it is getting better with, robots do so much now that it's hard to mess up.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's like Yugo robots and then there's like Rolls Royce robots. So you can still have a robot whose head's screwed on backwards and feet are backwards. He's still a robot. You can still do stuff, but just not as well.
I feel like there's a reason it's cheaper to make stuff in China, and that's because they don't.
Well, anytime you're in a dictatorship, they give you what they want to give you. You do what you need to do, or you don't exist.
Honestly,
it's pretty straightforward.
It's kind of a moral thing for me.
I hear you. I understand.
If I had my way, everything I bought would be made in America. But I guess I love these bikes, and they're German made. So.
Well, the world is worldwide now, and everything gets made all over.
Yeah.
This is up here, so it's been that way for a long time. But, there's lots of good stuff out there. You just got to know what it is and be willing to pay for it.
That's true.
So, we got, all of a sudden, again, so many projects going in here.
Yeah.
I mean, these two showed up today, and you still got two back there, and we got, they're everywhere. We're not seeing, even these two bikes, which are one-owner bikes, which are here for regular service, but they're both getting rear main seals and the whole 9 yards. So they're both getting, stainless steel brake lines and new tires and new batteries. They've been sitting for a while. So they're basically same as a minor project. They're a service, but they're a major service. So, I'm happy with it. No problem there.
Yeah.
It's just that, again...
that's why they come to us.
And we've done a lot of work for Chuck.
Yeah.
We've done probably half a dozen bikes for him now. And we're helping him with that build he's doing now too. So I'm glad he comes down from Tennessee, brings us stuff, and likes what he gets. And
Well, it makes sense. There's so many little things you can do wrong. Rear main seals. We have a rear main seal we don't use. You take it to somebody else, they don't know that.
Right.
Well, stainless steel brake lines, we have a certain way of doing it. People know.
And most people buy pre-made ones. making your own just gives you the opportunity to do all kinds of good stuff you can't buy.
The ones we make look better than the ones they sell. I think the black covered.
They make clear ones too. We used to carry them.
Yeah, I've used ones that you're just so locked in with length and stuff like that. Like,
well, I mean, we used to buy 25 meters at a time of clear covered stainless line, and then we just went to the black because nobody seemed to want the clear, so we stopped carrying it. But it's still out there. We still buy it.
I think with the green bike, the customer had supplied stainless steel brake lines, and they're too long. They're from a splitter underneath the tank and I ended up crossing them over, which looked good, and it didn't affect anything because they're so long that, you know, there's no, from lock to lock, there's nothing. But it would have been nicer just to go straight, you know.
And of course, the football season's here now, so trying to get in to eat at my favorite Jamaican restaurant on Saturdays is becoming a task.
Kelly's.
Yeah, because it's right downtown, just about. So.
It's at 5 Points. So
yeah, but so everybody goes through 5 Points to get into town.
Yeah, 5 Points is already
a zoo.
You know, every Friday afternoon you just gotta avoid 5 Points. Which is crazy for us to complain about traffic, because it's really not.
Well, the traffic out here's gotten bad too. I mean, this town traffic has increased exponentially since I've been here. I've been here like 20-some years.
They just need a no turn on red. Boom, solved.
They need to get rid of the one on Barnett Shoals because they tell you to stay behind the line, don't block the intersection. All those guys keep going. They block the intersection, then the light changes and nobody can go anywhere.
And
there's been no planning in this town. It's ridiculous. It's unfortunate, but they've done no planning.
It's almost like building a major development that only has one small 2-lane road through a historic downtown.
Perfect example. They let a trucking terminal be in town here.
Yeah.
Let trucking. So trucks have to come down these tiny roads that are barely wide enough for cars. Tractor trailers come off the highway, come past Botanical Gardens, and come down Barnett Shoals all the time. And now they come through town here and here. I mean, what genius decided to let them have a trucking terminal in downtown in a small southern town? It already had problems with traffic, and now it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's fortunate, there's lots of little ways to get around, which I use all the time, but still, if I was somebody who owned a business downtown, I wouldn't be happy about it. I mean, we're right on the outskirts, but we're not walk-in traffic, so.
Yeah,
it's not
it used to be the country.
I mean, even when I come into town now, I don't come in the way I used to. I take the loop all the way around and come in this way because it's easier to get on the highway and easier to get here than it is to cross traffic there, then have to cross traffic here. I come in from up there now.
Speaking of, have you ridden the roundabout, the rotary?
Which one, the new one?
The new one.
Oh yeah, many times.
On your bike?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun, isn't it?
Well, all roundy rounds are fun.
Yeah, no, but that one in particular, there's something about it that makes you feel like you're a way better rider than you are. It's just the curvature of the road, it like flips the bike for you. You feel like you're what's the race thing?
You're a MotoGP rider?
Yeah, you feel like you're a MotoGP rider going through there.
Well, there's that roundabout, there's so many things right next to it. There's the big new building they built, and then there's the Georgia tax building, and then there's a couple of cutoffs, and then there's the fire department right here, and it's crazy how much stuff happens in that one little tiny circle. Before you just used to drive by, and all of a sudden they decided to change it, and now across the street on 441, they're building one of the big TA gas stations, big truck stations going in there now. If you left the roundabout here and you got onto 441, instead of making a right, you drove straight ahead.
The new QT.
It's going to be a truck stop.
It's a quick truck
stop. Yeah.
Well,
that's what they need too. So.
I like quick trip, but yeah. I got my bike running.
Oh, that's right. Mikey's been driving his motorcycle.
I took a couple of days off and
his bike several times tried to leave while he was working on it and go back where it's been for several years.
Yeah.
But Mikey roped it in, shut the doors on it.
Dropped a couple $100 on it and spent a few days and got
he just drove it to South Georgia and back again last week, and he's been driving it back and forth all the time.
It's running better than it ever has, and I actually have brakes now. So before I had a pretty squishy master cylinder. It was hanging on by a thread.
Plus, you got a new automobile. Got our old car.
Yeah, you gave me a great deal on your.
It's a great car.
Yeah.
Those things run forever.
I want to change. There's a weird shift that I'm feeling. So I just want to change fluids.
Good idea.
You know, I don't know if it's actually the transmission or if I'm driving
Used to something else.
Driving it wrong, and it's trying to go to fourth and then coming back to third and then going back to fourth.
It's not a bad idea to have the fluids changed. I had on my couple of new vehicles, I had everything changed: and rear drive oil, transmission oil, everything.
You know, working on that car, I can actually work on it, which is, I think Toyota is just my new brand. Like changing the cabin air filter was easy. Didn't even need a tool. On my old Honda, that's a major service. You gotta
Take the seats out or something?
unbolt the whole glove box.
Right.
I think like lift up the dash, and then it's like there's a reason no one ever does it. They just breathe in fumes.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Glad it's getting, you're going to get use out of it.
yeah. I fixed the relevant story. So I was trying to fix my front turn signal. It's 2007, and
Okay. The one, it was flashing fast, so I knew a bulb was out or something was
Yeah.
out when I drove it back here.
so I took the front bulb out, or I was like, before I go buy one, let me just pull it out and see what kind of bulb it is, see if we maybe
Might have
have
an
one.
air, yeah.
It's the same as a brake light for an airhead. It's a double filament.
That's 1157.
I was just like, that's so crazy that they're using a 60-year-old bulb
Well,
in a
that was 15 years ago.
2007, I guess it was.
Yeah. So,
But still,
well, that's good for you. It was easy to change. Go right next door and buy one if you have to.
well, I just took one.
Yeah, come in here and make sure nobody's looking and stuck it in the
I already paid you for it. It was on the bill. You just didn't look at it.
I see. Well,
My parents are coming to town Sunday.
ooh, what's the occasion?
Just haven't seen me in a while. I've been busy. My boss just,
Yeah,
it never lets me have a break. You
that's
know?
right. And coming in at 10:30 in the morning.
Except
I'll
for
tell you,
all the
that's
breaks.
really pushing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we hired a new guy to do eBay,
Yeah.
and he's learning quickly. He's enthusiastic, and we're getting
Okay.
a lot of stuff listed, which is what we really needed.
Yeah. Our eBay was struggling.
Yep. So this morning, Mikey and I were looking for something in my toolbox. We opened a drawer that I hadn't opened in a while, and there was a mouse in there, and a big nest, and there was a mouse. We moved a few things, and we realized the mouse had 4 little mice hanging off of it, and then it finally just jumped down and disappeared somewhere. So
Yeah. It was actually pretty gross. I'm not gonna lie.
it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
And if you had to take that snake out that you found upstairs, it would probably been not real happy. Would have had another meal.
That's true, but that was a venomous snake.
It doesn't have to be venomous to eat stuff.
Yeah,
I still eat it.
you just
It wasn't a venomous snake.
Okay, I don't know.
It wasn't a venomous snake.
I thought you said it was.
No, I said that to you just to say it to you. But I showed it to Leslie, and she's Miss Snake person. She said, "Nah." She told me what it
You
was.
told me that it was ultra venomous, and because it was young, it was even more. venomous.
That's right, because they can't control how much venom they put out.
Because I had
So that's what happened to you.
I had accidentally touched it.
Your hand didn't fall off, did it?
Not yet.
Not yet. People have such phobias. Majority of snakes are good. You know,
Most
black
are.
snakes, king snakes, they eat all the poisonous snakes. We catch them and bring them back to the house and let them go down by the river.
Yeah.
We've done it for years. Got a little snake basket. So, and people see snakes, they freak out and run them over. I don't get it. You know, they just think all of them are bad.
There was one time I picked up Garrett's lift down in Atlanta, like close to Atlanta. And in the guy's driveway as we were leaving, I was trying to get out of there because it was like 5:30 on a Friday night. There was a snake in his driveway, and he was just an old guy, and he just went up and like just grabbed it by the back of the neck, and then curled around him, and I was like, that's such an alpha move to just grab a snake in front of a guy before you make a transaction. Like, not the guy.
This is how much money I want, and I won't take a penny less.
I wasn't gonna mess around with that guy. Yeah.
We've been gone 3 weeks. We don't have anything to say. We've said it already in the last 3 weeks.
Yep. That's true.